And when did you move to
ourselves.
Montreal?
I was in third year high school, so I had 2 years of high school in Toronto and 2 years of high school in Montreal. And it was strange because in Toronto I was in a private girls' school. And when we went to Montreal, I was in a co-ed high school. I thought that was neat. I loved it.
How did you
I
decide?
was president of my senior class, which doesn't mean much because we've never had a reunion yet, but it was a nice honor.
How about boyfriends?
Well, I left one in Toronto. He used to ride over, Jim McNichol. He used to ride over on his bike. That was his, before they got cars, they rode bicycles. And we'd stand and giggle for about half an hour and then he'd go home. But I used to walk by his house and think, that's where he lives. In Montreal, yeah, it was Joe Finley. And he was nice guy. He went off to college and we kind of lost track of each other. Then we moved to Montreal and my mother came home, would go downtown. Every time she went downtown, she came home crying because everybody spoke French and she was in a foreign country. It was strange. It was quite a culture shock to go downtown in Montreal compared with Toronto. The French people did speak English, but broken English, and so it was a different world altogether. But I finished high school and luckily got into McGill University, which was nice. I loved it.
Tell us about Dee Dee's work career.
Oh, Dee Dee was, as far as I know, his whole career with the Imperial Oil Company of Canada. And it just gradually went up, and ended up going to Montreal as vice president of the company. And that, it was a big company, Imperial Oil.
He was an
It was
accountant,
Esso
wasn't he?
down here in the States.
Wasn't he an accountant by trade? Wasn't he a
Yes,
controller type?
yes. That's
Did-
where you got it, Patty.
Did Nana ever work?
Yes,
Did she?
she was a school teacher,
What grade?
first grade. I said kindergarten a little while ago. Her songs were all from kindergarten, but she taught first grade. And so it was nice because we just sort of sailed through first grade. I can remember her taking us to school. And Mother and Dad always came to the parents' night, always, as long as I can remember. I was always so proud of them, and I was proud when they came because they looked better than most parents. They were both good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Mother, when I got older, stole all my friends from me.
Well, do we know what that feels
All
like?
all my friends thought she was the coolest thing you ever saw, and she was. She could get along with them or get along with 80-year-olds or get along with 2-year-olds. So I never ever felt embarrassed about taking my mother and dad anywhere. I was always proud of them.
Do you remember having a favorite dress from that period? Or what type of clothes did people wear?
We never wore pants. I didn't even know what blue jeans were.
Yeah.
If I had, I'm sure Mother's friends would have said, oh, he comes from Czechoslovakia or whatever. He's a workman. Yeah, we wore dresses. Well, I'll tell you what. We wore smock dresses, if you know what that is. Dresses with the smocking across the front. And I was a big, long-legged, really clumsy teenager still wearing smocks when I saw a picture of the three of us one time, and I said, I'm not wearing another smock dress. So from then on, I wasn't even in lipstick when I was 16. No, I was promised I could be when I was 16. And I guess I started using it then.
How old were you when you got your first driver's license?
16. On the day that I got my driver's license, there was one of the biggest snowstorms in Montreal. And Montreal's built on the side of a mountain, so you have to go up, down, up, down. I got my driver's license in the middle of the snowstorm.
Wow.
The reason I think living down south now, you wonder why did they test you on a day like that? They test you because tomorrow's liable to be the same way.
Yeah.
And yesterday was anyway, so.
What did your car look like at that time? Did you have more than one car in the family?
No, we never had more than one car. We never had our own cars. Mother never drove, and Dad drove the family everywhere. He'd come home from work and take Mother downtown. He'd come home, take Mother to the hairdresser. And then there was the time we decided Mother better have a license. She was not mechanical at all. And so she took driving license, and the man said she could have a learner's permit. And I had my license. So I went with her, and we had to go down a viaduct and up underneath a railroad track. Well, Mother got down, and the light up ahead changed to red, and we had to wait. And Mother had to get up. I bet we traveled that thing about 4 times, trying to get down and up. And there were people waiting behind us, and people on the sidewalk just looking at us in complete wonder. And finally, Mother said, "Get out of the car, Eleanor." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Don't ask me, just get out of the car." And she got out, and we walked away. And she went to a telephone in a store and called Dad, and he got someone that worked to drive him down and get us out. She wouldn't let me do it.
Change everything.